Welcome back to the life of T. As y'all already know how this goes by now, that's if you're returning, but if you are new, then thank you as well for being here. Y'all, today we are talking about my pregnancy and motherhood journey. Now, I'm sure some of y'all are like, I didn't even know she had kids. But for the ones that do know, or if you don't know, I do have 2 boys, and I know I don't show them really on here at all. Really, I don't show them on any of my platforms, only because motherhood is not my focus for content. But I am a mom, so of course I sprinkle in something here and there. There are a few pictures and videos of them out there, but just not many. However, it had been like on my heart, on my mind for a while to share my pregnancy and motherhood journey, only because I feel like sometimes in motherhood you can highlight all of the good things, but I'm so glad in 2023 that more people are sharing like the hard parts as well. And that's what I am wanting to highlight in today's video, along with the good things. But I do want people to know, like, sometimes motherhood can be ghetto. Like, it can be what it's gonna be. So I just want to share things from my perspective, and hopefully it will help someone else. So yeah, let's get into it. I've already said let's get into it, but let's get into it times 2. I do have my phone only because, y'all, my memory is like a goldfish. I don't even know if a goldfish has bad memory. I just have heard that before. But yeah, I'll be using my phone in my videos because I don't got time to be pretending that I can remember it all, because I can't. All right, first up, let's rewind, y'all. It's funny that I even have 2 children because I never wanted kids. And they may be like, dang, harsh to hear, but I didn't. So when I did have kids, of course my family members that know I never wanted kids, it's like, oh, I thought you'd never have kids. Or, oh, you had one, I thought you'd never have another one. Life happens. Life happens, okay? I really always thought I'd be the rich bougie auntie pulling up to the events, and I still am going to be. I still am, but now I just got 2 tag-alongs. So it is kind of like still crazy to believe to this day that I have not 1 but 2 children. But now that that's out the way, my pregnancy journey. So my oldest son, he is 7, soon to be 8 in about a month or so. I got pregnant with him at 19. I mean, at that age you still really are like a baby or whatever. So I was shocked as I don't know why. I mean, you do and a baby can come out of it. So when I got pregnant, of course, I was just like, wow, I'm really about to be somebody's mama out here. But my pregnancy was cool. It was fine. I had 0 complications, you know, going to the regular checkups, all of that. Y'all, almost 3 months before I had him, I woke up one day and it was like, to me, I might be being dramatic, but it was like a murder scene. Blood everywhere, this, that, and the third, or whatever. And I didn't know at the time until I got to the hospital that my water had actually broke, because I mean, I didn't know that. So after all these tests, this and the third, they figured out my water broke and I couldn't leave the hospital because I was 6 months pregnant. Or about to be 7. Yeah, I was like a few days shy of being 7 months pregnant at the time, I think. And so they were like, no, you'll risk infection, you can't go home. We're gonna have to at least keep you. This was July, and they were like, we're gonna at least have to keep you till September, because he wasn't due until October. And so I'm like, what do you mean I'm about to stay in the hospital all that time? Baby, not me. Y'all, I ain't never been to prison, and I've never had a hospital stay, so it felt like I was in prison. Like, I couldn't leave the floor without being in a wheelchair. I couldn't really, everybody else's life was going on. I couldn't really do anything for myself. It was just horrible. I was depressed, I feel like. Well, fast forward 2 weeks later, I had been having like stomach pain and stuff, and I'm not gonna be too nasty, but like I was having like a dark brown discharge, and then that's when I found out he was in distress. So I had to have an emergency C-section. I just told you I ain't never had a hospital stay, so I've never had a surgery either. They had to knock me out when I had my teeth pulled, my wisdom teeth. So y'all can imagine, I was hyperventilating when I found out, like within, you know, an hour or so, that I'm about to have a surgery. I'm like, I know y'all lying. Baby, they was getting ready to give me that epidural, and I really felt like I was about to pass out. And the nurse was like, "You've got to calm down." I'm like, "Calm down? I'm about to have an emergency C-section." Like, what? And the baby ain't even supposed to be due yet. At this point, I'm only 7 months. So, and long story short with that, he ends up coming, and he is a healthy baby, just small. He was just really, like, literally, like, legit, like, right here. That small. It was wild, y'all. I've never seen a baby that small before. Like I said, I had him in July. He was supposed to be born in October. But God, only thing that was wrong is he had to just grow. He had no issues. You know, some babies have like breathing issues because their lungs aren't developed, which I did get steroids when I had gotten to the hospital to, you know, like help with that in case something happened. But yeah, he just had to grow. And it was hard, y'all. Having a premature baby and knowing that you can't leave with your child when you have them, that was very hard on me. Luckily, I stayed down the street from the hospital at the time, so I didn't necessarily stay. I tried, but it was hard with having a C-section, trying to sleep on a hospital couch and all of that, but I just went up there every day. And I did feel bad for the parents that were like hours away and had to have their children, like they had to stay there, you know, the full time. But yeah, he turned out perfectly. He didn't get out until October too. I'm like, dang, he really had to stay up here pretty much until his due date. But you would never know that he is premature now, because the boy, walking, talking tall, he's a little lanky little thing, but you would never even know that he was premature. Now that other one, that second child I had, he was not premature. I had him 41 weeks. He went all the way. But my doctor was afraid that I was going to have, or it was, you know, the risk that I could have him early. So I had to get a shot once a week so that I would not have him. Now, do I remember what that shot is called? No, I don't, y'all. But I had to have a shot every single week, and it just became a part of my life. At the time, I worked at a clinic, a doctor's clinic, so the nurse there just gave it to me once a week, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I'm like, this must have really meant I wasn't meant to have kids. Have a kid early. Now I gotta get shots to make sure I don't have this kid early or no complications. But also, let me rewind a little bit. My second son is actually my third pregnancy, because I did get pregnant in 2019, but I had a miscarriage. So after I had that miscarriage, y'all, it really took me down through there. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt like my body was broken. I felt like, I don't know, like I wouldn't say that I felt like I wasn't a woman, but you know, this just, when you have a child or you get pregnant, you just feel like that's naturally what your body does. You're a woman, that's what you're supposed to do, right? But after having my oldest son early, after, you know, having this miscarriage, I'm just like, maybe I'm really just not meant to be having kids. And so when I did get pregnant with my second son, y'all, I was on pins and needles and nervous as I don't know what, that something would happen. And like I said, long story short, I've been saying it a lot, it's gonna be a long story, but he ended up going to 41 weeks, and I had to get another C-section, y'all. I had to get another C-section. I was so heartbroken, I can't even lie. I felt defeated once again as a woman, because I wanted a VBAC so bad. And if you don't know what a VBAC is, it's a vaginal birth after a C-section. I had even switched my doctor at 30 weeks, because here in Texas, these doctors, I don't know if they don't want to be liable, if they're afraid or what, but they don't want to do VBAC. So I found a doctor at 30 weeks that would do it. I even switched to a man doctor, because that's how committed I was to having a VBAC. And he said that he would, you know, let me try if I could. But anyway, I get 41 weeks. You know, they try to scare you. It's time for you to have a baby. You don't want it to be unsafe. So it's funny, because I ended up having contractions or whatever the night before I had them. I'm like, bet, this about to be it. This about to be what this, I'm about to do the dang old thing. I'm about to do this VBAC. But when I went to the hospital, whatever, I wasn't really dilated, but like 2 or 3 centimeters, and I wanted to wait, but they were like, no, your contractions are getting stronger, you know, something could happen, this, that, and the third. Y'all, I was really heartbroken, I can't even lie. And that's when I was like, nah, I'm really not gonna have any more kids, because I can't keep putting my body through this. C-sections are hard. You have limited mobility after that. Like, surprisingly, my doctors were very surprised when I had my first son that, you know, I was up and moving so much afterwards. But it really does hurt a lot. But you don't want to get stiff or anything like that. But They are literally cutting into like different layers of your stomach, and it is hard on you. It is hard. And then your stomach really never goes back like all the way flat. Like, people see me, I am skinny, but I always have this pudge, and I'm sure I could work on it, which I am working out more now. But you have like, I wouldn't say I really have ab separation or nothing like that, but you just have a pudge from having a C-section. So that was hard. Let me see if I have anything else on pregnancy. I guess that was really it as far as pregnancies go. But let's get into motherhood, because that's where the real tea is. What is motherhood like for me? It's hard. It's the ghetto. It's crazy. It's the wildest thing I ever did in my life. Okay? In my life. Y'all. Like I said, it was already hard to wrap my head around that I had became somebody's mama. And now I'm somebody's mama times 2. You mean to tell me I have to be responsible for some little people that's going to grow up to be big people, and then you still be responsible because they never stop asking, they never stop begging, they never stop needing? Like, wow, that's crazy. How we were once somebody's child, and now we not some, I mean, we still somebody's child, but now we are a big child. Now we didn't have children, and now we have to raise these children. It's mind-boggling that I'm responsible for some kids. Very crazy, y'all. But it's interesting, to say the least. My kids are night and day. The 7-year-old, sweet, loving, quiet. Well, he quiet for the most part. He's very smart. He will ask a lot of questions, but he's just very chill, if you will. I really don't think like I had any issues like, oh, he was tapping and dancing on my nerves or nothing like that when he was like in the toddler stage up until now. That 3-year-old, I'm gonna tell y'all, he was born in 2020, so he is a pandemic baby. If you know, you know. If you got a pandemic baby, I swear it was something in the water. I swear it was something in the hospital air. They are different. If I would have had him first, I probably really wouldn't have had no second child. Y'all, he is sweet and loving as well, but he is wild. He is the true definition of a rough rider, a rough boy, like a toddler boy. And it's so crazy because he's so fun and energetic, but you be tired. Y'all, it is so crazy. So when I, you know, now I got these 2 kids that are so different from one another, and it does make things difficult. As of course the oldest is very laid back, so he be wanting to chill, but the 3-year-old, he be doing the most. Like, he don't know chill. All he knows is turn up. He don't get tired. And so of course they argue, they bicker, and I just be like, I literally be having to pray to God, like, make me have more patience, give me more patience. I want to be the best mom that I can be to both of my children. I don't want to be frustrated. I don't want to be like overwhelmed, because motherhood can be overwhelming, y'all. Whether you are doing it by yourself as a single mom, whether you're doing it with a partner, whether you have a village, it is still hard. It is the hardest thing ever. And I'm so grateful that I'm not doing it by myself, but it's just like it's a never-ending roll. And so I be learning so much. You really learn every day. You never stop learning. When you think that you got it down pat, them kids will spin the block and do something else, and you be like, wow, this what we on today. So it's interesting, to say the least. But I will say there are times when I don't necessarily mourn my old life or anything like that, but I do imagine how things would have been, like, for real, if I wouldn't have had children. Having children does make things not necessarily harder, but you have to alternate the way you do things. If I don't know, well, y'all should know if y'all have seen other videos. Like, I have a photography business, I do blogging, like I go to events and things like that. So you have to figure out, oh, who's watching the kid today? you got to rearrange your schedule. And I live in Dallas, which I'm not originally from here. I'm from Arkansas, so I don't have family here. So it is crazy that, you know, you have to pretty much change up things when you have children. But also at the same time, I know it can make you go harder because you want the life that you may have not necessarily had when you were a child. You want to provide more things for your children, and it can motivate you because you don't want them to grow up and never feel like, oh, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. So it does make you go harder. And also children, like I said, you can learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. As a woman, just speaking as a woman, we do the dang thing. Like, you bring life into this world. You literally create miracles. And so being a mom, being a parent, it can make you more confident because you're doing things that you never thought you was gonna do out here. You never would have thought. And also it can help you to heal your inner child. Like I just said, if there are things you wanted as a child or you went without, you don't want your child to go through that. And as you know, people like to use the term on social media, you're breaking generational curses. Like, oh, I'm not gonna do this with my children because I didn't like it as a kid. I don't want my children to think they don't have a voice. I don't want them to think they can't speak up. I don't want them to, you know, feel like we can't do X, Y, and Z. Like, though, the things that you are still working on, your children can help you with those things. And that's a positive about motherhood. Also, children, they can be a positive light. Whenever you, or myself, whenever I can be going through something, wanting them to do something crazy, and it kind of like temporarily takes your mind off of being an adult. You know, we do have pressure on ourselves once you do become a parent because you don't want to mess up. You want to have it all together, all the bills paid, making all the money, making sure you covering the needs and the wants. Like, it can be a lot on you, but at the same time, when you look at your kids, when you see that they're happy, that will make you feel good and temporarily, you know, take your mind away from it all. They be doing silly stuff. You know when a child like really feels loved, when they really are like secure, they would be their most happiest selves. And that's the ultimate goal, right? And you can create the best memories with children. Like, you know what? In motherhood, in parenthood, you will take pictures of your kids doing the same thing, like 50 photos, and you be scrolling through trying to figure out which one you should delete. And you're like, I can't delete none of them because they were so cute in every single one. They turned their head just a little bit more in this one, and they, you know, smiled a little bit harder but in that picture, but I need them all. And so they do make the best memories. Kids are innocent. And so they just do whatever, they just say whatever, how they're feeling, and it's just so fun. What I really enjoy doing with my kids, I love to paint. I'm a creative person, so I love doing those things, and they do as well. They do like to go outside. Mama ain't really an outside girl, not like that type of outside. I'm an outside restaurants and drinks, but that's beside the point. But they like to be outside, so I like seeing them happy doing that. They like watching movies. They like baking cookies, popping popcorn. Like, I love, my oldest son of course is more verbal than a 3-year-old, but I love when he's like, oh, I had fun today, you taking me to fun places. So they remember all of those things. They remember, you know, not necessarily the toys and stuff like that, but how you make them feel, what y'all actually did together. So you know what, these little people, they are with me, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's basically my pregnancy motherhood journey. I mean, it's still a journey that I'm ongoing all the time. I mean, when I'm 50 years old and these kids around, I mean, they ain't gonna be kids then, but they'll always be my kids. But even when they get older, it's just a never-ending journey, and I'm excited to see how they continue to grow. I'm always praying for them and their strength to be the best adults that they can be when they get older. But it's a wild ride, but I wouldn't trade it. It's the most rewarding thing ever. And I do encourage all moms, even when it seems like it's the hardest it's ever been, pray about it, take a break, Take a deep breath. I'm speaking to myself too, because y'all, it be hard out here for a pimp. It be hard out here, but y'all, it's gonna get better. These kids won't stay in these stages long. They won't stay little forever. They won't stay 1 forever. They won't stay 5. So make the memories. Make those memories. Because one day you're going to look up, they're going to be 18. They're going to be graduating. They're going to be 21. They're going to be living their own lives. And it's going to be like, nah, I ain't really got time for you, mama. I'm going to check in with you, but I ain't really got time like that. So it's important to just enjoy the journey now. Enjoy it for all it's worth. Like I said, take breaks. Do stuff for yourself. I'm a self-care queen, and I will get that time for myself. You need to. You cannot fill everybody's cup if yours is not full. So remember to do stuff for yourself. And I think that's all I got for y'all. If y'all do have other questions, or if you do have questions, if I forgot something or something you want to know, you just curious, please leave it below. I would love to know your thoughts. Or if you are a mom, if you're a stepmom, if you were a godmom, whatever, let me know how your journey is going. How do you feel about these cheering out here? Because it's a wild ride, y'all. It is a wild ride. Anyway, like I said, I think I said, that's all I got for y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I love what I do. I love being here, and I hope you do as well. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.